Jane takes the stand. I can only categorize this as nights of debauchery. What up, y'all? All right, welcome back. I am Cashmere, California. This is the Hip Hop Report, and we are covering the federal trial of Sean Diddy Combs. Please like, share, subscribe, lock in, because there's a lot to cover in this trial. The charges that Sean are facing, the federal charges, are as follows. Racketeering conspiracy, that's count 1. Count 2 is sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion. Count 3, transportation to engage in prostitution. Let's get into it. Week 4, day 14, continues with the cross-examination from Brian Steele to Mia, poking holes in her testimony by showing messages and social media posts where she spoke glowingly of Diddy years after these alleged transgressions that we talked about during her direct examination, including going back to work with him. Like, that it was really good. Like that pretty much covered all of day 14 was the cross-examination. But they did some really good things in showing, we talked about this before, how it's just about creating reasonable doubt. It's like you're saying that he did all these terrible things to you. You're basically painting him as a monster right now, but years after that, you went back to work with him. Now, we're not going to get into why somebody would go back and work with him. I'm pretty sure you guys have had jobs where it's like, man, I never worked there again. Then things got tight. Things got lean. Maybe you tried a couple of other avenues to try to get work, couldn't find something, and you knew, man, there's money over there. Maybe I just have to suck it up and go deal with it. No pun intended. Anyway, that was day 14. Moving on to day 15. Okay, the Intercontinental Hotel security guard, Eddie Garcia, is on the stand. So he says that Combs paid him $100,000 for the 2016 attack video on Cassie Ventura and told him not to make any big purchases. $100,000. Now, it started with at 50, I believe. Originally, Diddy asked him, how much do you want? Eddie said 50,000. It turned into 100,000 later on. But he told him after he gave it to him, don't make any big purchases. That feels like you kind of done this before. I ain't going to go into that because that's just the Cashmere's alleged, all that. Anyway, Diddy's assistant, Christina Coram, who they call KK, called Eddie repeatedly asking him, does he have the video? Can she see it? Can she have it? So they're like pressuring Eddie. I don't know how they got Eddie's number. They just said, this is Eddie on the stand saying they kept calling him over and over and over. First, Eddie told her that she'd have to speak with the manager or file a subpoena, and then you can get it that way. Basically saying, like, I ain't got it. I'm not the one. But then after that, she put Sean on the phone. It's like you the big boss on the phone now. Hello. This is him. You know who him is. So put him on the phone, and guess what Diddy said? Just like a big boss. I'll take care of you. That was all Diddy needed to hear. So all Eddie needed to hear from Diddy. Eddie took a USB drive to a room where Diddy was staying and was greeted at the door by Diddy saying, Eddie, my angel. Or, Eddie, my angel. It don't sound like a Diddy voice. But this ain't the Diddy we know. So maybe he did talk like, hey, more baby old Cassie. Anyway, he said, Eddie, my angel. He then took a brown paper bag and put it on the table and started counting out cash, like cash, 10 grand through a money counter, another 10 grand through a money counter, another 10 grand, and handed Eddie $100,000 in cold, hard American folded money. So Eddie goes, takes the money, he leaves, he ain't got a whole time, he's spending time talking. He split it 50-50 with the hotel manager who we still need to hear from. I wrote that as a note. You see, I'm reading my notes. There's so much information. I'm like, hold on. If we're talking to Eddie, we're going to have to get to this hotel manager because he got half the money too. He had to sign off on it. Eddie had to go get come on now. Eddie's just a security guard. So Eddie, yeah, he can get to the DVR and pull files, or the NVR, whatever they had, pull the files off, but he got to go talk to the manager to get the authorization to go take, this is his property. It's not Eddie's. So I want to know when they're going to bring the manager to the stand, please. And he also gave 20 to another associate. That I'm not sure about. They didn't really go into it. And he used the last $30,000 to buy a car. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, Eddie. That's kind of a big purchase, a car, like, because they say they spent $30,000 on it. Most people ain't got just. Eddie ain't following instructions. A week later, Eddie got a text from Diddy saying Happy Easter. So apparently this was in April. Saying Happy Easter and wondering if anyone had been asking about the tape. So he's just kind of, doing some housekeeping work, making sure that we all still good. We in the clear. Ain't nobody poking around. Where that manager at? You gave 20 to who? What they doing? Pardon me. So moving into day 16. First to the stand, day 16, forensic video expert Frank Piazza. His entire focus was looking into the 2016 Intercontinental attack video that we talked about to validate, is it real or is it fictitious? That's his whole thing. He has his own company doing forensic video and audio editing. He said that normally his work is for a defense witness. So there was a big difference with, the prosecution being the one that called him to the stand, which I didn't completely understand. The state needed to call the witness as the number one expert that already validated. Got it. That was me. I'm sorry. So my notes were saying, like, I didn't understand why they needed to call a forensics expert to validate it when Diddy, the only other person in the video, already validated it with his apology video. What else do we need to talk about? He didn't say like, oh man, yo, that was in a messed up. I'm sorry, I need to look a little more. Yeah, man, I was in a messed up place. I hit rock bottom. Now that video y'all saw, that's not me. I can't front. I was feeling like that though. Or I hit rock bottom. I mean, that video, I don't even remember. I was on so many drugs and just alcohol, depression. Like, I don't even recognize the man in that video. Honestly, I can't even tell you if it's me or not. Now, see, now you would give your defense team some ammo to be like, hey, we need to authenticate this. Maybe this isn't even him. Yeah, he was in a bad place, but that doesn't mean this is automatically him. I mean, it's not like the video's in 8K or something and you can easily see him like you can see me. Like, nah, it's a hotel video. It's from a distance in the corner of the room, kind of with the eagle eye looking down on me. He's moving around a lot. You could argue it. So I'm like, why are we wasting time? But I think I do get it. It's you have to clear it all. You know what I mean? You don't want any juror walking back going, you know what? Somebody brought up a good point. That made me start to think, was that really? You know what I mean? Like, maybe they didn't see the apology video, right? And if they hadn't saw it before court, then they definitely can't see it now because you can't go around looking for materials or watching materials based on anybody that's, any elements of the court case. So, later on I understood, but in the beginning I was like, yo, he already authenticated this. We already got it. Already done. All right. So after that, longtime friend of Cassie, Brianna Bongolan, testified that she observed Puff coming over to Cassie's house late at night multiple times, being argumentative and violent. At least one time she said she remembers him being violent. Not saying it was all, but that's her testimony. She talked about an incident where he allegedly dangled her over a 17th floor hotel balcony. So now Brianna's only like 5'1". That's what she testified. And she said that the balcony came up to like her waistline. And she said that he came up to her and like basically put his hands like up under her armpits and lifted her up onto the balcony. Like basically she was like sitting on it. he was yelling and screaming at her like, you know what you did. You know what you did. She said she testified she had no clue what she was talking about, what he was talking about. So we don't know either. But allegedly, this situation happened. She said the incident lasted for around 10 to 15 seconds. The attorney was asking her, what was he asking? Like, what more was he? Did you know what he was talking about? Did you? And she was just like, I was so busy, like, trying to figure this whole moment out. They were like, did you think that he was going to drop you? Did you think he was actually going to do it? She's like, I didn't have time to think. I'm like trying to figure out what did I do, basically. Which is wow, right? Wow. So she did see a doctor and had medical attention regarding the incident. She continued to be Cassie's friend after that. She continued to come around both of them. She obtained a lawyer for that incident, but somehow that fell through. They asked her, do you still have that lawyer? She said, no, I don't. She was contacted by Diddy's people. I guess, I don't know exactly when this happened, the timeline. I'm going to assume it's kind of when this case kind of started to build up, because they kind of alluded to the fact that they wanted her to not speak, like to not get involved, basically. And so Diddy's people contacted her and offered her a settlement for an undisclosed amount, but she didn't accept it. So I don't know if the settlement amount was too small. I don't know if she was like, nah, bro, I see what's going on. Like the fire is starting and I'm not I'm not passing no extinguishers to you. I don't know. So defense attorney Nicole Westmoreland put a lot of energy into establishing, this is now cross-examination. So Westmoreland gets up there. She puts a lot of energy into establishing that Brianna was not only a heavy drug user, right? I did tell you that, yeah, Brianna Bongolan was not only a heavy drug user, but used multiple drugs at the same time that caused altering reactions and feelings in her body. Like they actually went through like, oh, what does ketamine make you feel like? What does marijuana make you feel like? What does ecstasy make you feel like? What do Cocoa Puffs make you feel like? And basically saying like, you got these to make you feel this way. This makes you feel loose. This makes you feel free. This makes you feel, sexy. This makes you feel like, how did this one opens your mind up? You got all this stuff going through you. Let's get there. You a drug addict, basically. You was a drug head, girl. And basically that she did all of those same drugs frequently with Cassie Ventura. So after establishing the heavy drug use, then she proceeded to show the inconsistencies of her original civil complaint. Remember, I said she put in a civil complaint with her attorney regarding that hotel balcony incident, and with her testimony under direct examination now in this trial. So not all the inconsistencies were big, but they were significant enough to cause doubt about her recollection and or her testimony. Like one particular claim in her civil suit where she said that, where she alleged that during the balcony incident, Diddy also SA'd her during that time. Y'all know what that is. But during the testimony in court, she ain't say anything about SA. So in the back and forth, Brianna said that she basically told them where his hands went, and almost to say that maybe they categorize it as SA. Remember, she did say his hands kind of came under her armpit. So maybe the way that she did it or whatever, the lawyers, again, I'm just going off her. She's saying, I didn't say anything about SA because that was never my words. I just showed them where their hands were. Maybe they would look at that and try to beef up, the verbiage, like, oh, that's, we can look at that as SA. We really can add something to this. This is a Diddy. But she did agree that there were differences in her statements. Moving on, day 17. We're getting along with, this is I think Wednesday now. We continue with the Cross of Brianna by Westmoreland. After questioning her about Diddy's schedule during the Bad Boy reunion tour, and some show dates and other things, she flat out accused her of lying in court. Like, I can't say that she had proven that she was lying, but she was like, you lied in this courtroom, didn't you? I'm like, it kind of took me by surprise, and I don't know how the jury reacted because I'm reading the transcriptions from, not right now. These are my notes from the transcription, but I take it all in from news outlets, from media anchors that are actually in there and reporting, to the transcripts, to the reenactments of the transcripts. Like, I'm taking in a lot of information, so I don't know how the jury responded to that, but she flat out called her a liar. Like, they trying to tear little Brianna down. So apparently during the line of questioning, during the cross examination, this is a side note. Diddy was looking at the jury, and the judge said he was like nodding vigorously, but you still went back to what was it? I thought you said they essayed her. Oh, I didn't say that. That kind of thing. What else is? What else? Let me give you another one. Okay, I said all that. I don't know. Anyway, I'm dragging y'all into it. My bad, y'all. Sometimes I get wrapped up. But Diddy is like nodding and like looking at the jury like, you know what I'm saying? Like overdoing it. Oh, like basically trying to communicate with the jury whatever's going on. Like he agrees, or like, yeah, y'all see what I'm saying? You see, like don't be believing her. Okay, all right. The judge was not having it. The judge completely admonished him and talked to the attorney. Was like, look, if your client do that again, that's basically witness tampering, basically, right? He's like, if your client do that again, he's gonna be out of here. He'll spend his time in jail while we're in court. Like, do not let it happen again. The attorneys, of course, are like, it will never happen again, Your Honor, I promise. And I'm looking at them like, shut up. So after that, Jane takes the stand. I can only categorize this as nights of debauchery. Ladies and gentlemen, this will continue for the rest of the week. We will be talking about Jane. Allegedly, Jane was a friend of someone who was in a situation with Diddy, but after that girlfriend got engaged and moved overseas and kind of moved on with her life, Jane was like, I guess it's okay to move forward pursuing a possible relationship with Diddy. Well, where are we at on time? Okay, we still good. Please stay with me. I know it's a lot. If you gotta go and come back to this point, make sure you are subscribed. You can find me again. Cashmere, California, the Hip Hop Report. Let's get back to it. So apparently the relationship started like any other standard relationship with like a few casual dates, but like Diddy level, whatever casual is for him. Then it ramped up after they started having sex. She said that they took drugs for every sexual encounter, which usually lasted 12 to 15 hours well into the morning. Realize I don't got my ring on. Don't be trying to see if my relationship is real. Soon after they started, there was a night where he asked. There was a night that he asked. Sorry. So there was a night that he was at. That they were watching PORN. So while they're watching it, like he was asking her questions like, do you like that? Do you like what you see? Would you like that? Tell me about, he's like putting a lot of attention on what's going on the screen, but not just kind of like watching it to be aroused. Nah, it's like, yo, tell me what you think about that. You feeling that? What's up? So she responded, yeah, like, it's cool. She said yes because she wanted to please her partner. And she could tell he was like really into it in the moment. Now, come on. We all know. I'm just saying some people, whatever. She said after asking all those questions, this one night, she went to the bathroom, and she said when she came out of the bathroom, Diddy was on his phone, but now he's like looking like real serious, like going through his phone. But when she left, she was like, they were in this playful kind of talking, sexy vibe. But then when she came back out, he's like, You know what's about to happen now. Then a short time later, he got off his phone and said, I could make that happen tonight. So sorry, when I can make that and asked her if she was down. She said yes. They asked her, why'd you say yes? She's like, again, I'm just kind of trying to go with the flow. That night, so she says he's super excited about the idea. It makes him, all happy when she says yes. Allegedly, that's why she keeps doing all these things, because he looks like he's really excited about it, really into it. She wants to please him, make him happy. Cool. So that night, they go to the Intercontinental Hotel. Again, she says she remembers assistants, like when she got there, it was like assistants all over the place, like setting the room up. She said there were already like red lights in the room, and before she knew it, it was just her and Diddy and this guy named Don. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Covered in baby oil, which he introduced to her in the very beginning, that he really enjoyed. That's what he said in the very beginning. He was like, yo, I really like baby oil. Like that's kind of one of my things. So while she was covered in baby oil and full of ecstasy and ketamine at this point, she's dancing. She's getting into the vibe. She's getting into the mood. She's getting closer with this entertainer. She's, settling herself into what's about to happen. And, soon after that, they ended up having intercourse, which she did requested a condom for, but Diddy pleaded with her to not use one. He was like, these guys are the cleanest guys around. They get tested all the time. They can show you their papers. And then, after it went on so long, after a while, you're like, okay, we're going to talk about this forever. Like, all right, you're like, forget it. Let's just move on. Fine. Here, take a condom. So he gave her a condom. After that, so he had condoms. Interesting point. So you had condoms with you. You know the night you're about to have. After that, so they do their thing. After that, she brought sorry. So that was that night. So they do their thing, blah, blah, blah. That was the first night. She said after that night, he brought a man into these hotel nights 90% of the time. I got to take better notes so I'm more clear and succinct. But 90% of the time, there was another man in their intimate space. And while she was having, with these different escorts, they asked her, well, what was Sean doing during this time? She said, masturbating. Jane said that Jane said that all of these things pretty much started the same way, these hotel nights, with one of the many escorts coming into the room, her entering in a robe, then starting to dance slowly to get the nerves out. We just talked about that. Usually already high from some assortment of drugs. We talked about that. Then foreplay with baby oil, then all the sex, then sex, and then all sex, and then, more and more of that. She says she tried to do the things. She just tried to do things that sped up the process, from doing oral on the guy to taking certain drugs, or even giving an escort certain drugs to move things along, like actually to make him erect faster. Like she just was trying to get it done. And her reason was because she wanted to get it over with and get back to being with Diddy. Somehow, after these 12 to 15 hour scenes with a male escort, when she was done, he ejaculated near her vaginal area, or on her. She gave us different spots, but somehow after that, her and Diddy would begin lovemaking. That's what she said. Said these nights would last for days sometimes, after she had already been awake. So imagine you get up, you're up all day, you get with him at 7 o'clock, and then you're going into the morning and then into the evening of the next day. But now you spent all these hours with this escort or multiple escorts, depending the night, and then you start with Diddy. Those are different kind of drugs. I'm drug free. Kids stay drug free. That's why I don't know nothing about that. She also testified that after an argument one time when they made up, he said, "Let's make a love contract." It wasn't like an official agreement that you had to sign, of course. But it just felt like a cute little flirty conversation that they were having in the moment, and then they kind of got on the same page. He asked her what kind of allowance she wanted per month. Allowance has like pop feelings, right? Has very much pop vibes. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and listen to week 2. Week 2, you'll hear about pop. She said 15,000. He said 10,000. Shame on you for negotiating. just shame. I mean, you're already there, bro. You there. You come on, man. We know what this is. Like, shame on you for negotiating. So he said 10. They agreed on that, and she used the entire $10,000 to pay for a new place. So he paid the rent, instead of giving her a check and all of that. Like, he just paid for the place. And she said that balanced things out. She was saying, like, I wanted like this nice, serene, peaceful place that had like a nice yard, and it almost felt like the nights of debauchery were so like, evil and sinful almost, that like this pleasant, warm, humble home, not humble, but $10,000 not humble depending on where you at, was like the balance out. Well, at least I have this, and maybe one day we'll be in this together. Who knows? I mean, I go too far. So she also added that when she would try to tell him that she didn't want to do the hotel nights anymore with these other men, Diddy would respond and say, "Hey, if you want to break up, just let me know. But I'm not going to keep paying for a place for someone I don't see." Okay. All right. The prosecution also got her to admit that he would pay for her to fly to Miami on commercial flights each time they got together. Hold on, let's go back. We always going to do this. Go back to the charges. What's the charges? Racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, transportation to engage in prostitution. If I'm flying you out to be with these other men, I'm flying them out. Count 3. If I'm telling you that I'm paying for but if you want to break up, that's cool, but I'm not going to keep paying. That's coercion. People keep saying, I'm going to do another video. Actually, we did it already. Week 3, we went over, last week, we went over, me and Mrs. California went over what you have to do to establish a RICO. We went over all the predicate acts of a RICO, how many you need, how do you show, what's the word? A habit. That's the best word I can think of right now. Pattern. How do you show a pattern to get for someone to be indicted and possibly convicted for a RICO? We should go over that. But as you heard. All right, so day 18. The U.S. Attorney Maureen Comey continues direct examination of Jane. I think I said this, but she's Diddy's ex-girlfriend. Jane, Jane testified that Sean referred to her as his freak. Like I want to see my freak, or I need my freak tonight, right? She continued to bring up the issues of condoms all the time, which Diddy was always dismissive about. Basically made her feel like, when are you going to stop? Like, move on. I don't like it. Stop asking. It's not going to happen. He gives in. He gave in even the first time, but he's always pushing her to not want to do it, which makes me feel like at some point she must have said, okay, I won't. Like maybe there were some escorts that she was more okay with. But it's hard to see that they're having this same contention like every single time, but you bring condoms every single time. Like, but you still fight with her. And so Jane said that in a single hotel night, she would sleep with anywhere from 1, 2, 3 escorts. And after each one, she would then sleep with, sorry, when I say each one, after each hotel night, then she would sleep with Diddy. She'd wear new outfits for each one. She'd go for as long as she wanted, as long as he wanted her to. The prosecution asked her who would decide how many partners that you had that night or that you would perform with that night. And she said, Sean. And they said, well, who would decide if you could stop or not? She said, Sean. Coercion. Force. Now Jane has gotten, so Jane gets emotional a lot of times. There's a few times that the attorneys ask her, does she need to stop? Does she need a moment? Does we need to take, break for a second? Like, you need a moment. And she always says no. She always says no, but she's visibly going through it, having to relive a lot of these things. It gets very emotional for her. Even though she says she still is in love with him. Like now, like on the stand, she still loves him. Maybe not say in love. She still loves him. Take that for what it's worth. So now, but though she was getting emotional on the stand, so this is the first time she testified about being emotional during that time in her life with her relationship with Sean. Apparently, she was excited about a date night that they were going to have because she thought it was going to be like this special one-on-one date night with just her and Diddy. When they got together, he told her that there would be an entertainer coming. He told her that the entertainer would just be like something quick. Like, it's not going to be all night. It'll just be this real quick thing. So she said she hung on to those words that, okay, it's going to be something real quick. So she just pushed through. Like, I wanted it to be this, whatever. He said it's going to be fast. Fine. Let's just get it over with because I know you like that. So real quick turned out to be 18 hours and 3 rounds with 1 male escort. After the 3rd round, Diddy told her he had to go. She said she just sat there feeling alone and hurt because he left her by herself and she just cried. That was interesting because everything else she had been talking about had been like, oh, I wanted to make him happy or I was going along with it. Like in so many words, and from her words, like, I'm just putting on a mask to deal with it. You like it, okay, I'll try to like it. I'll do what I can so then I can be with you. Maybe if I do this again, then I can have you again. Maybe if I do this more often, then you'll be with me more often, kind of thing. But this is the first time that it sounded like I'm broken. Like you finally broke me down. Not saying it didn't happen any more times, but this is the first time she spoke about it in court. So an important thing for a lot of you that are wondering, like what kind of woman would do this? Why would she continue putting up with this treatment? She had to know that this lifestyle, this was the lifestyle she signed up for. Why she asked to keep continuing. Diddy has said you can go and you ain't went yet. So why you entertain these conversations of having male escorts and hotel nights if you don't want it? Why? So her response to that, because that's happening throughout. The attorney keeps throwing that out. Why? Her response to almost all of it has been, I wanted to make my partner happy. I knew my partner was turned on by it. I just wanted to make him happy. But when asked if that's what she wanted to do, every time she said no. Meaning, if they said, so why did you say yes, you would perform with this male escort? Oh, because I knew that would make him happy. Did you want to do that? No. Well, why did you say, baby, let's meet in blah, 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 call I forgot what they called. I should have wrote this down. Call the Italian or something like that. Some kind of not the Punisher that we talked about before, but it's like call the Italian or call the Dominican or what something. Like why would you do that? Why did you initiate that text? It's like, well, because I wanted to see him, because I knew that he was stressed out about things, so I wanted to make him happy. Okay. Did you want to perform with the Italian? No. And so it tells me that internally, just my opinion, she doesn't feel that she offers anything of value that will make him happy. Like every time she thinks to make him happy, she goes straight to that. Now, he probably planted that seed in her, clearly, but still, like, you're not even trying to say, oh, well, I can do this, or let me cook for you, or let us go out for a walk, or let us play, board games together. Let us something like anything else to kind of get his mind off of it. Nah. It's like you're leading with that. Hey, let's call the Italian. Let's call the Haitian, right? So because of that, to me, I feel like her perception of herself is paper thin. And so she allowed a view of herself to also be paper thin. However, on September 17, 2023, it sounded like she had a change of heart because she finally clapped back at Diddy. So here's the text. This is a crazy text. I'm going to read it back verbatim so we can, get a complete feel of this. We're almost done. Stay with me. We almost done. The text reads, I wish we can go back to when we first started dating and just getting to know each other. Ever since I opened Pandora's box, I've never been able to close it. One night of fun turned into the entirety of our relationship. And now it's all I'm expected to do and get called for. It's hurting me because I'm so much more than being loved in the dark in hotel rooms, doing things that make me feel disgusted with myself. I'm confusing your lust for me as real love. My heart is really in this. My heart is really in this. My heart is really in this, and it's breaking. I don't want to play this role. I don't want you to play this role. I don't want to play this role in your life. She kind of messed up. She said, I don't want you to play this role. Then she corrected it. I don't want to play this role in your life anymore. It's dark, sleazy, and makes me feel disgusted with myself. I feel it's the only reason you have me around and why you pay for the house. I don't want to feel obligated to perform these nights with you in fear of losing the roof over my head. I don't want to keep feeling like that anymore. I'm crying as I type this. We just need to talk like adults and figure out where we'll go from here. Wow. Clue, can you drop a bomb? After all of that, you would think that you'd get from a boyfriend a response like, man, okay, you're right, let's talk. Maybe this has kind of gotten out of control. I mean, it's fun. I love it. I thought you loved it, but, maybe I didn't take the time out to really hear you out. So yeah, let's fix this. Let's fix this. You know what Diddy's response was? Girl, stop. Now, just kind of a side note. I told you earlier that I get these. I get all my information from multiple sources, but one of the ones that I really like, and this is not. It feels like I'm sponsored right now. It feels like it's segue. So, have you ever figured? Anyway, so one of one of my sources, the Inner City Press, they're on X. They do a great AI reenactment. It's a little odd because some of the inflections kind of throw you, but if you are interested in that kind of thing, I just wanted to shout them out just because I think they're really great. And for their team taking the time out to do that, I just think it's dope. So if you want to check them out, go ahead and check it out. So, but as far as the rest of it, it continues, but I'm not going to get into it. The reason I'm not going to get into it is because a lot of it just feels like a terrible guy that's in a manipulative, verbally abusive relationship with a woman who's being used for her body and sexual capabilities, and less about the charges of this case. Clearly, Diddy treated women pretty badly, at least some women, but we're not here to discuss him as a bad boyfriend. We are here to deal with Diddy facing these 3 charges. So just kind of, her talking about how he would do that. We got to the meat of it, the stuff that actually went to the coercion and the trafficking and all of that. But now when it's just like, well, but why would you say this on my birthday? And how would you break up with me on my birthday? Like, that's so mean. You would send this kind of text to somebody that you say that you loved, and you did this for it's like, okay. Now I forgot the word, but it's exhaustive now. You know what I mean? It's too much. So we're going to end it there. We're at 42 minutes or so. That's week 4. This trial is going to be very interesting when the defense comes to present its case, because right now the federal storyline that they are creating, it's not leaving a lot of reasonable doubt, at least for what we discussed were the charges. The charges. I know a lot of people that aren't following this are like, he was just a freak. Oh, it was just about baby oil. Oh, it's not about that. It's not about that. Those are kind of like things just to get you to understand like the levels of debauchery that might be going on. But when you get into the mechanics of how these things were being performed, how he was able to get these people to do these things, how he was bringing these people there, what they were using while they were there, who brought those things there, it's like you see, this is going to be an interesting few more weeks. So please subscribe. Please, it's free. I'm bringing you content every week for free. Lock into the Hip Hop Report. This is one of them trials that everybody around you is going to be talking about it. So you might as well have as much information as you can so that the right information is getting passed along and not just hearsay. And it's like somebody told me the other day, oh yeah, I heard, when Kanye was on the stand, he said, I'm like, Kanye ain't been on no stand. Kanye went to people just talking. I'm Cashman, California. This is the Hip Hop Report. I catch you on the next one.